Good morning, everyone. This is Miss Sherry, and I'm here to give you our lesson for this week, and it's about two brothers. And they were the children of Isaac and Rebekah, who you heard about last week from Miss Jeannie. Before we start our story, we need to talk about three words that are important in the story. The first one is twins. These brothers were twins. What does that mean? Twins are when a woman has two babies at the same time. And a lot of times they look just alike. And when people dress them, they might dress them exactly the same, or they may dress them in outfits that are similar but different colors. So twins are two babies that are born at the same time. One is born first, and then the second one is born second. They come out of the mommy's body, one and then number two. And so one is older than the other. The second word that we need to talk about is birthright. What does that mean? That's a long word that has two parts. It has birth and it has right. Birth means when you're born. Right means a privilege, that you have the privilege to have it. It's your right. And so what does birthright mean? In the Bible times, birthright meant that the oldest son got special privileges because he was born first. Those privileges were things like all of the family money, all of the family property, and he got to be in charge of the family, so everybody had to do what he said, no matter how old they were. So even when your other brothers and sisters were grown-ups, they still had to do what the oldest brother said. And so that was the birthright. You got to be in charge, and you got to have all the money and all the property, and you would give it to your brothers and sisters as you wanted to. And the third word we need to talk about today is blessing. And we know that God gives us blessings and they're things that we have, but in the story today, blessing means something from the Bible times where the father gave a special blessing to the oldest son, so it went with the birthright. The oldest son got a birthright and he got a blessing. And the other children got blessings too, but they weren't as important as the oldest son blessing. So this is the three things we need to know about our story. So let's look at the story. Last week, we learned that Isaac took Rebekah as his wife, and that his father, Abraham, had sent him a servant to find a wife for Isaac. And he brought her back, and they got married. And so after a long time, Rebekah got pregnant, and she could feel the baby moving around in her tummy, but it was really a lot of moving and a lot of pain, and she didn't know it, but she had twins, two babies in her tummy. And so when they were born, the first one who was born, they named Esau. And he was red and he was hairy, and that's what his name means. And the second one that was born was named Jacob, and his name means deceiver or person that fools people, and he was holding onto Esau's foot when they were being born. And so Rebekah named them Esau and Jacob. Well, Esau and Jacob grew up, and Esau liked to hunt, and Jacob liked to hang out at the camp, and he liked to cook, and he liked to take care of the animals, and he liked to do all kinds of other things. And Isaac liked meat. Their father Isaac liked meat that came from wild animals, not just the regular animals. They had like chickens and goats and sheep. And so Esau would go hunting out for the wild animals that he could kill and that Isaac could eat. And so Isaac liked Esau the best. But Rebekah liked Jacob the best because Jacob stayed at home and helped out and did things with his mother and with all the servants. So what happened? Well, one day Esau was out hunting, and he took a long time. And when he got back, Jacob had cooked dinner. So Jacob had cooked something called lentil stew. And this is a red bean that you can cook, and it tastes really good, and you can put all kinds of spices in it. And that's what Jacob was cooking, lentils. And there's going to be a recipe on the site if you would like to make lentil soup with your family. So Jacob had a pot of lentils, and it was on the fire, and it smelled really good. And when Esau came in, he was so hungry because he'd been out all day long hunting, and he had walked and ran and chased animals, and he was really hungry. And so he said to Jacob, "Please give me some of that stew. I am very hungry. In fact, I think I'm going to die if I don't eat." And Jacob said, "Okay, I'll give you some food, but you need to sell me the birthright that you get because you're the oldest." And Esau said, "Well, I'm going to die if I don't get something to eat. So what good is it going to be for me to get all that inheritance if I'm dead?" So he told Jacob, "Okay, the birthright belongs to you." So that means now that Esau has said that Jacob gets to be the person that has all of the property and all the money and gets to tell everybody in the family what to do. And so Esau ate the stew, and he didn't really care about that birthright that he was going to get because he was the oldest son. So some time passed, and their father Isaac was old, and he was blind, and it came time for him to give Esau the blessing. So I don't know if Isaac knew that Esau had sold the birthright to Jacob, but he told him, "You need to get the blessing as the oldest son." So he called Esau to his tent and said, "Son, it's time for the blessing, but first I want you to go out and find an animal for me and bring it back and cook it, and we will have a feast, and I will give you your blessing." So Esau said, "Yes, father, I will do that." So off he went. Well, Rebekah heard what was going on, and she told Jacob, "Listen to me. Do what I tell you. Go get some goats and kill them and bring me the meat. And I'm going to dress you up just like Esau, and you're going to go in and you're going to pretend to be Esau so that you get the blessing, and it goes with the birthright." And Jacob said, "I'll never fool father. I don't sound anything like Esau. I don't look like anything like Esau." And she said, "Don't worry, I have a plan." So Jacob went and did what his mother told him to do. And so she tied the skins of the goats around Jacob's arms. Do you think, look at that. Look at that. Do you think Esau was that hairy? I guess that's what Rebekah thought, because she tied the goat's hair around Jacob's arms so that when Isaac touched him, because remember, Isaac's blind, he can't see. When he touched him, he would think it's Esau. So then she told Jacob, "Go put Esau's clothes on." And so Jacob said, "Okay, I'll go put Esau's clothes on." And so she sent Jacob into the tent. And Isaac said, "Is that you, my son Esau?" And Jacob said, "Yes, father, I've got something for you to eat." And he said, "You don't sound like Esau. You sound like Jacob." He says, "Well, it's me. I don't feel good, but it's me." And so he says, "Well, let me touch you." So he put out his arm, and Isaac touched his arm, and he felt the hair, and he says, "Well, you feel like Esau." and he smelled the clothes. You smell like Esau. No, you don't sound like Esau. You must be Esau. And so he said, come and I will give you the blessing. So Isaac put his hand on Jacob's head and he gave him the blessing and said, God's going to bless you and you're going to be a great king, a great leader of all the people. Okay. And then Esau came back. And Esau went into the tent and he said, Father, I've got the food. I'm here. And Isaac said, oh no, I already gave someone the blessing. That must have been Jacob. And Esau was so angry. He said, my brother is such a trickster. First he took my birthright and now he took my blessing. I hate him and I'm going to kill him if I find him. Next time, we're going to find out what happens to Jacob and Esau because Esau's so angry at Jacob and Jacob needs to get away from Esau so he doesn't kill him. If you want to do a craft, there's a link on the site with the video and also a link to a recipe that you can make lentil soup. I hope you have a good week and I miss seeing all of you. Bye.